for charity, we solve the problem of in-kind donations, good donations. Charities can combine a wish list, and donors from around the world can buy these items for charities, and these items will be delivered directly to charities. We solve the problem first, good management, sorting, storing, everything for charities, and 100% of money spent by donors go directly to the cause. No monetary donations. We solve problem of trust, especially millennials and younger generations, and prefer give goods or time, not money, because they don't trust to charity sometimes. Yeah, that's it actually.
Okay, great.
If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. So Tatiana will be also around, and Joel, you want to say a few words to Swarm?
Yeah, sure. Swarm was sort of born about a year ago in discussions of how blockchain technology could transform governance. And one of the things we're particularly looking at is like the way a company is formed. And right now, if anyone calls sharing economies, usually you have people who are the investors and founders, and then eventually you do a few rounds of funding, and then investors basically control what happens, and they have all the board seats and everything. And if you are a user of a platform, then you don't really have any rights ultimately. And we were just really excited about multi-stakeholder relationships and stuff like that, and using particularly blockchain to create wide structures of incentivization so that you can give back equity to the people who are actually using your platform, or you can create entirely new types of things. So the thing we're focusing on now is this one called a distributed collaborative organization, and we have a bunch of projects that have come through. They're doing all kinds of interesting ways, but the same core goal is really giving the users and people who actually fund the project a greater degree of control. So.
Cool, thank you, thank you. You want to say a few words to Riot?
Well, I think Hawk would cover it, right?
Yeah? Well, Hawk has the talk, so that's why
I'm Hawk from Riot. I'm a customer here from the Riot community. So Riot is an operating system for constrained devices. So when you think about this IoT thing that everybody's talking about and nobody knows what exactly it is, it means basically that all these tiny devices that are everywhere in your microwave and just set temperature sensor on your wall, that they're actually connected to the internet. And so these devices are so tiny and so small that they're not able to run the normal operating systems we're used to. So they're not able to run Linux or Mac or even Windows or whatever. So we're building this operating system that fits on these really, really constrained devices, which have a different approach you need for implementing those network protocols you need, for example. And we try to make it as open as possible, and we really push our users and everyone to use open protocols and everything to be transparent. So because we want the Internet of Things to be open and to be accessible, and we don't want companies kind of locked in their devices. So 5 years later, you find, oh, this device is not working, I have to throw it away again. So, and yeah, that's what we do with it.
Cool, thank you.
What's that called again?
This one is Riot OS. Riot OS. Yeah, exactly, that's the one.
So my name is Juan, I'm the founder of Trading, and our purpose is to help in creating a world where we can trust one another, to enable any interactions, transactions. With 6 billion people in the world, as opposed to just the 1,000 people that you probably know in person. The idea is that today you can use your eBay stars or your eBay rating only within eBay, but why cannot you use that reputation that you're gathering and use that elsewhere? And because it should belong to you, and if you're a credible person, you should be a credible person anywhere, as opposed to just starting from zero every time you go into the marketplace.
That's cool. Thank you. Thank you. So one came all the way from Madrid. So yeah, then we have Christy. Christy has a very interesting project.
So our project is called Experience Medicine, and we have several thousand women already, moms, who have very sick children, from autism to ADD, ADHD, allergies, asthma, cancer, the whole spectrum. And so these women are finding out why their children got sick, how that happened. They're collaborating everywhere, primarily right now on Facebook, which is not a safe place for them to do what they do. But they're bringing their children back. Some are recovering all the way. We have kids that are going to college in Berkeley. We have some kids who are kind of recovering, others who can't break through. But these women all over the world, but primarily starting here in the US, are bringing their children back and running the health care for their family. So I was just at South by Southwest, and everything I kept hearing was power to the patient, but what it really was, everybody kept saying, let me give you a lot of tools so you can then go back to your doctor who can tell you what to do. So these women are totally surpassing the doctors. They're like, they can talk above a doctor's head about mitochondria disorders. They know their stuff. They go to bed at night with a book, medical text. They are rocking it. So what we want to do is bring them all together, because there's thousands of them that have huge data sets, huge amounts of information on what's working, what's not, how it's working, what they're doing. So we want to bring them all together in one place where they can collaborate in new ways, in very safe ways. Then we want to be able to run data to see what's really working. So is hyperbaric oxygen working for one? What is their 23andMe setup, and how is that working for all the protocols they're using? And so they're all super excited about a place to collaborate in that way. And they're also paying it forward already. These are women who will drop everything in a very chaotic life when you have a very sick kid, and they will pick up the phone, they will get online, and they will coach a parent right through what's going on, no matter what's happened. So they're amazing in that way. And they're growing huge political strength. These are women who are in Texas, California, Washington, Illinois, everywhere. Their political power is really growing, and they are about all access, all information, everything needs to be available to us to be able to help heal our kids. So we're working on that now to bring them all together in one place.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, and then maybe Neil, you want to say a few words to Shareable?
Yeah, my name is Neil Ornquell, and I'm the co-founder of Shareable, and we're a nonprofit with a mission to empower everyone to share. And we're trying to make our own innovations within Shareable to decentralize. But I think our main contribution so far to this space is to report on it, and just very interested in what's happening, want to support it as much as possible. I really think it's great that Joaquin and his crew is getting everyone together. It's awesome. Thank you.
And Kalia? Kalia?
So my partner William and I are working on a centralized platform. We think that in order to shift the dynamic with Facebook and other entities owning our data, that it's important to actually build power and then decentralize things. And also the big issue with those is ownership. So we're looking at building a platform that focuses on communities that are economically distressed in this country as a starting point, not Harvard kids, and to grow it into being a consumer co-op so that the people on the network own it. So that's called IDA, and it's in beta, and William will be here later, so thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Ilya? Would you like just to present? Come here.
Well,
come here.
Hard after all yours. So I'm co-founder of a startup called Carmination. What we're doing is we tap into the sharing economy to allow people to share their unused private parking. And but we're doing it differently. So what we're trying to do is we're actually trying to do it so that it's not platform owned, but it's actually going to be community. I'll give more as opposed to Airbnb, it's a $20 billion company, but users don't really have that much ownership. So we're working on doing that, and at the same time tapping more into the actual meaning of what sharing economy is by partnering up with other sharing economy companies. So we're working with companies like Zipcar. We're working with them. We're talking with Lyft. We're talking with numerous other ones to try to all come together, basically to make it so it's ours as opposed to just like one company entity. The way that you can actually share your parking spots is you can give the money back to one of the charities, and we've teamed up with some great charities as well, like Make-A-Wish, Guide Dogs to the Blind, Raphael House, and so on. So, yeah.
Cool. So there could be a connection with Twitter. Are there any more projects? Yeah? Marion?
Yes, my name is Marion, and I'm a current resident of the North Nest. You guys are the organizers of the Yes, for sure. Okay, sorry. I'm living at the Love Nest, which is a house down in Palo Alto, and it just started as a just usual living space for people who are like-minded and interested in startups and other things, and now it evolved a little bit in just a sharing space for maybe 2/3 of permanent residents who are working on startups and just creative ideas, and we have also like 1/3 of just flying bluebirds who are working on things and just want to stay a few days or a few nights in Palo Alto, and we want to give them some space and just a place to stay. And we also are getting into organizing meetups and events and all that things, and if you guys are interested to stay in Palo Alto, just let me know, and I'm sure we can organize something for you.
Yeah, and I just can confirm it's really a super space to stay, and it's super welcoming and super nice people, and thank you for having us there. And yeah, so Flavia, you want to say a few words or not yet? Okay, okay, cool. Any other projects? Anyone? Because we have two, I think I would like to ask Marcus to say again a few words to Dropbox just to complete it. Dropbox, Dropbox, you know, this was like really, how do you say, thing. Freedom box.
I'll show you one.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a small device like this one. It's Freedom Box. And it has a number of things on it. It has different functions, different software that are all somehow related to the idea of decentralization. I'll show it. It has own cloud. It has email functionality, and of course it has this graph stuff that I talked about, the RDFX direct and the graph thing. So I have a few boxes, so if we spend some time, we can kind of get them connected and exchange data from one to the other and do some kind of.
Great, thank you. And then we have a question.
Hi guys, thank you Joachim for organizing all of this. I think it's a beautiful space and we're going to have a lot of fun here. We brought our prototype of an application that we haven't named yet, but the company is called YOLOCom. You've seen it probably on the website. And this application aims to take all the good stuff that we have from when we browse the web and we bookmark things, and then we chat to our friends using several different tools like Facebook or Twitter or Telegram or whatnot. And then there's cloud storage and all these kind of technologies that we really like using, but we're bringing it now onto the device of the individual, such as the Freedom Box, and we will be here to install the application on the Freedom Box and distribute the data across 5 or 6 Freedom Boxes and see how it then actually all can be displayed in one information stream on your mobile phone. So you have like sort of a setup that would happen in real life, that people, like 20 people in this room have their server at home, and then it still can be shared and connected to each other. And the data set that we have been working with is actually Christie's project, that we are modeling this data set and experimenting with the exchange that people can have in such an important context, because the health context is obviously a very delicate context. It's, you don't want all this information flowing around the internet somewhere. So yet still you want to exchange and you want to be secure in exchanging your information. So join us in the discussion. And there's another thing that I'm personally also very excited about. We are also going to be exploring the project of Fair Shares. That's a UK project where you are looking at a company model that actually models some very good aspects of the open source community, and also tries to bring it into like a legal framework, so that the code and the companies that we want to build behind this technology can actually be properly placed in a legal framework. That's kind of cool also. Thank you.
Thank you. And then to that, we will have a later session also on alternative financing and crypto equity and so forth. And Andrea will bring in a bunch of people to that, so that will be quite interesting. And now we have Noah.
Yeah, I am a co-founder at a company called Citizen Code, and we are a startup studio that partners with various companies to do lean product management, lean UI UX, agile software development. We're particularly interested in building crypto equity systems, adaptive organizational structures, and distributed technologies, and so we're looking for both to deepen our understanding of the emerging field and also for partnerships.
Cool, thank you. So now we have kind of an overview of the projects that are in the room, and we have now here these kind of notes. So we are going a little bit to back to paper. Try to play. And we would like to ask you to take one of these notes as your personal note.
How about we make people yellow?
Okay. Okay. So we have people yellow and projects. We do
blue.
Blue. Okay. So please put your name and 3 tags that best hashtags that best describe what you are doing and what you're interested in on one of these notes. And then
if you have a project, I'll hand you a blue note, so you do 2, and you put your project name and then some tags about that. And then after you've written both of those things, bring your circle over to that table and we'll map them out. Project.